He's a wonderful young man. He made a statement to his teammates. You know, what makes you and drives you? What is it? What is it for you? And he came back and said, "I'm my mother's only son, and I refuse to fail." Whoa. These guys kind of like, what? And you know what he's done here now, because he's playing so well, but not only that, because of the type of person he's taken on that role of holding people accountable. Now he's seeing the faces I see and the excuses I hear. He's hearing the same stuff, but it's coming from him now, holding guys responsible. So it's been fun to see him try to develop over this, and you know, thank goodness he's on this team, because we didn't, you know, holding it together has been a job that he's done.
You've had to reinvent yourself at least 3 times this year.
Yeah.
How's it been for the team?
You got to just keep trying stuff. You know, when this is all over, you know, I tell them, you're sitting in seats that every player in the country wants to sit in. Don't look back 5 years from now and have regrets that you didn't give everything and sacrifice and do all the work. You're in a seat that every player in the country wants to sit in. And for me as a coach, I don't want to look back on this season and say I didn't try everything. I didn't give everything that I could give, and try different things and outside the box and listen to different people and try that. And so when it's all said and done, I live with no regrets. And so right now, that's what we've been doing. I'm not, you know, what's working right now may not work a week from now. We'll try something different.
Cal, how much is this Mississippi State team where sort of everything's gone wrong, a reminder that 19 wins and 10-4 in the SEC maybe ain't so
Well, we know that. No, we know. We're good. I mean, the issue has been the last 7 or 8 years we've won 30 games. Well, that's never been done in the history of our sport. But we think it's the norm, like you're supposed to win 30. And then everyone with us, now all the fans and media, you're supposed to win 30. Well, people don't win 30. We just had a heck of a run. So the other side of this is when you watch them, I just watched them play Alabama at Alabama 6 days ago. It was a 4-point game with 5 minutes to go at Alabama. I just watched their game with LSU, and it was a 2 or 3 bucket game at the end of the half. And LSU made some threes and turned them over and spread it out, but it ended up being a 12-point game. This team is capable, and if we don't have the maturity to understand, 1 week ago, where were we? 1 week ago, we were in coffins. People were trying to nail them shut. Now, all of a sudden, we're like, okay, wow. Well, that you can go right back to where you were if you don't have maturity or toughness. You just don't have that mental toughness to come every day and battle. And we'll see. I mean, you don't have to say one word. They're going to watch how you play, and if you do what you're supposed to, people can make their judgments.
John, it looked like
surprised by how quickly it's kind of clicked for this team. I mean, you know,
Nope. 2 years ago, if you remember, we lost 6. We were Missouri. We were Missouri. We lost all those close games. We couldn't get over the hump late. We won, I think, the last 3 or 4. Went to the tournament, played just okay, and then played Florida and played a heck of a game, and then went to the NCAA tournament, and all of a sudden the season had changed. That was about the same time as now. So no, I'm not surprised. But even then, you say we started clicking. We just kept going. We had the maturity to say, let's take advantage of this now. Let's see if we have that maturity to take advantage of the position we're now in versus the position we were in 7 days ago, 8 days ago, whatever that was.
John, they summoned a level of toughness against Missouri. It looked like they had that all year long. Now that they can summon that, now you know that they had that, how much does that help you in terms of motivating them and showing them what they can do?
I'm still, you don't know what's happening before the game with this scat group. I mean, and you know, the great thing is now that they're eliminating, and they're being eliminated, every cop-out and excuse they can use. There are none left. Just, you got to go battle. You're talented enough. You're good enough. We have enough guys. What excuse or cop-out can you use now? You just got to go play. You know, we're telling them, hey, shoot the ball. Worry about missing later. Worry about what happens if you miss later. we're doing all the stuff to get them the ball. At the end of the day, when it comes out to, you got to step in the ring and look at the other guy and say, let's go. Or you can walk in the ring. It's really slippery in here, wet. Can we start again? Let me go out. And my manager's yelling at me too much. I don't feel right. When you're in the ring, you got to battle. And, you know, the Missouri game was a great lesson that they can do this, and they have it in them, which I kept saying. But so was the Vandy game. Vandy goes and wins their next game by 40. By 40, on the road. I mean, you know.
You talked a lot this year about trust. Where is this team now on
Just beginning. You know, the reason there was a lack of trust for each other was the mentality that if I'm not playing well, I can't play. I can't give anything. If I miss 2 shots, my head goes down, I jog back. If a guy scores on me, I'm so embarrassed that I'll jog back and act like it doesn't matter today. I'm not going to help my team because I'm worried about my guy scoring on me. I mean, and that is a mentality that young kids, you have to break them of that, and you have to get them to understand the other way is much more fun to play, and if everybody plays that way, you're protected. You instead of play for yourself, you play for the other guys, and they all do the same. The game's easier. But it's hard. Guys, 2 more points is like, you know, I got to get those 2, you know, it's just, but, you know, they've gotten better. You know, we're on the cusp of doing what we're wanting to do, and you know, we just keep practicing. Like yesterday, I told them I'm not backing up. I haven't backed up one bit. I don't care what we did in that game. What's the next game? Now, are we going to establish how we play, or we're going to be immature and revert back to where we were, because that's how you want to play, because you think it's easier. And so we're just, every day's a lesson.
John, how's Nerlens doing, and is his surgery scheduled yet? Or
his surgery is scheduled. I don't have the date exactly, but it is scheduled, and it'll be done. He'll have a couple weeks of, you know, intensive stuff, and you know, Rondo's going through it. I'm telling you what Rondo said. It's the toughest, most painful thing he's ever been through in his life. So to say, well, 5 months later I'll be ready, and you better be on, and just Rondo said it, the toughest and the most painful thing I've ever been through in my life. You're tough enough to go through it. Those guys that do end up coming back, in most cases, stronger than they were. But there's no slacking off. There's no, well, I'm not going to go hard today. No, it's you got 5 months of work, and I've told him that. And I think he's up for it, but it's not something just because it's a lot of these surgeries happen, the ones that don't work out, or because the rehab didn't work. And that means the guy didn't put in the time and the sacrifice and the sweat equity that you got to put in to make that work. I think he will, though.
You try to get guys like him and Derrick Rose to talk to Nerlens about
No, I haven't. I haven't at this point. You know, he hadn't had the surgery. He hadn't started on the rehab yet, but I will at some point. But Derek Anderson knows what he went through, and but he's in a good frame of mind. Mom was here this weekend. She was great. You know, they know we've really dotted I's and crossed T's and made sure, you know, one way or another he was in good shape, and she appreciated it. And, you know. Last question.
John, I know you're just worried about the next game, but in terms of the postseason, what do you think?
Okay, let me say this: bell curve. Okay, people with F's are going to get in and pass the class because it's a bell curve. Your F just got to be better than his F. You have 15 teams that would not be in last year's tournament. Now, you guys can go check and look, but simple eye test. There'd be 15 teams that wouldn't have been in, so none of that matters. Well, you got to win all your games. Here's a great one. They have to beat Missouri to get in. Okay, you beat Missouri, then what do they say? Well, they still have to prove themselves. And what are you going to get upset and listen to all that? I don't. All I know is if our team gets better and does what they're supposed to, we have the talent to not only play in that tournament to advance, but we got to prove ourselves every night out. Even more than any team in the country, we have to prove ourselves every time out. And so no one is going through what we went through, losing an entire team, playing all freshmen, having your point guard out, having your big guy out 2 weeks, losing the best player, the heart of your team, and trying to keep going. No one. And we're still standing. So I'm happy. Now it's where do we go from here? Thanks.